Genesis 41:23. Genesis 41. And it came to pass after these things, that the butler of the king of Egypt and his baker had offended their lord the king of Egypt. Genesis 42. And Pharaoh was wroth against two of his officers, against the chief of the butlers and against the chief of the bakers. Genesis 43. And he put them in ward in the house of the captain of the guard, into the prison, the place where Joseph was bound. Genesis 44. And the captain of the guard charged Joseph with them, and he served them, and they continued a season in ward. Genesis 45. And they dreamed a dream, both of them, each man his dream in one night, each man according to the interpretation of his dream. The butler and not interpretations belongs to God. Tell me them, I pray you. Genesis 49. And the chief butler told his dream to Joseph, and said to him, in my dream, behold, a vine was before me. Genesis 40:10. And in the vine were 3 branches, and it was as though it budded, and her blossoms shot forth, and the cluster thereof poured forth 3 grapes. Genesis 40:11. And Pharaoh's cup was in my hand, and I took the grapes and pressed them into Pharaoh's cup, and I gave the cup into Pharaoh's hand. Genesis 40:12. And Joseph said unto him, this is the interpretation of it. The 3 branches are 3 days. Genesis 40:13. Yet within 3 days shall Pharaoh lift up thine head, and restore thee unto the place, and thou shalt deliver Pharaoh's cup into his hand, after the former manner, when thou wasn't his butler. Genesis 40:14. But think on me when it shall be well with thee, and shew kindness, I pray thee, unto me, and making mention of me unto Pharaoh, and bring me out of this house. Genesis 40:15. For indeed I was stolen away out of the land of Hebrews, and here also have I done nothing that they should put me in the dungeon. Genesis 40:16. When the chief baker saw that the interpretation was good, he said unto Joseph, I also was in my dream, and behold, I had 3 white baskets on my head. Genesis 40:18. And the Joseph answered and said, this is the interpretation thereof. The 3 baskets are 3 days. Genesis 40:18. And the Joseph answered and said, this is the interpretation thereof. The 3 baskets are 3 days. Genesis 40:19. Yet within 3 days shall Pharaoh lift up thy head from off thee, and shall hang thee on a tree, and the birds shall eat thy flesh from off thee. Genesis 40:20. When it was come to pass the 3rd day, which was Pharaoh's birthday, that he made a feast unto all his servants, and he lifted up the head of the chief butler and of the chief baker among his servants. Genesis 40:21. And he restored the chief butlers unto his butlership again, and he gave the cup into Pharaoh's hand. Genesis 40:22. But he hanged the chief baker as Joseph had interpreted to them. Genesis 40:23. Yet did not the chief butler remember Joseph, but forget him.